Welcome to this special edition of Women Getting Visible. This is the speaker edition for Minneapolis Conference, where we introduce our speakers. I'm Christina Vidovich, visibility strategist, along with Amy Noobson, growth strategist, and today our special guest, the amazing Kimberly. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is very exciting. And to be a speaker at Women Getting Visible Minneapolis, my hometown.
We are so excited to have you in the room. Honestly, from the very first time we had a conversation, it was a yes, you need to be in this room because your story is so unique. I love it. Other women need to hear it. Other people need to hear it in general. And what I want to ask you about this conference, Women Getting Visible, and our Courage, Clarity, and Confidence, the messaging that you're going to be bringing to us, what is the driver behind that? Other than you and your RV, what is the driver behind your message?
I think the driver behind my message is it stems from many decades. We'll say 3 decades, so I don't age myself too inappropriately. But several decades inside the corporate walls where I just feel like I was performing and obedient, and I felt captive, and I felt like something in me was really missing. And then there was like a series of events that happened to me, and it made me realize that maybe corporate wasn't for me. And then there was just something in my heart and soul that broke after the passing of my brother. But it made me buy an RV, basically, go on the road and discover what was going on. Why was I silenced? Why was I feeling the way that I was within the corporate walls? And I know it had to do a lot with obedience and the structures that were in place there. And so when I went on the road, I started to recognize and uncover like these wounds that were inside of me. And the biggest one that came was this trust wound. And then I realized and recognized these patterns I was seeing in all of the women I had been coaching and sitting with for those decades that I was inside those corporate walls. And I'm like, there's something to this. There's something very that's very silenced inside the soul of the woman. And I went on that self-discovery to find out how to heal that within myself. And, nothing heals that better than driving an RV when you don't know what you're doing and figuring everything out on the way. So it took a lot of like courage and self-discovery. And then I realized that trust wound deep inside of me is deep inside across all women. And so I'm realizing that people need to realize that you're more than any of the betrayals and the abandonment and anything you felt inside walls where you didn't feel like you actually belonged. And I feel like that is the crux of what my message is really like reconnecting us back to trusting ourselves. And because I've been able to kind of heal that wound within myself, I think it's important for us to bring that forward to other women to heal it collectively.
I love that because I was just recently asked about why do I support women? I must have had strong women in my past. And I was like, I thought of them like, no, I've been betrayed by more women in my past than anything else.
Yes.
And I hadn't realized how much that hurt more than anything else is being betrayed by those women. And I'm like, but still, I know the power of women supporting women is way more powerful than to let that wound hurt me and let me play like over here and by myself in isolation.
Yes.
And it's finding those right women to support you is the goal. And I love that you're identifying that as kind of a wound that we all kind of carry.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's a wound that was built over generations. I mean, I was blessed enough to sit with elders and medicine men, and I was able to actually receive healing for and looking back on the maternal side of the women. And in that work, I was able to research and dig into my mother's lineage and the hurt and the pain and the sadness and everything that was inherited in me. I was able to track back to the 1400s. So this goes a long ways back, I think, for all of us, because all women are connected. And so if that first woman was hurt all women were hurt. And now it's like we're at this golden time where we can now kind of bring forward some healing for that pain that has literally been inherited.
What's so incredible about that too, I mean, there's so many levels that go with that, right? The survival of the fittest. So whoever could make it through those times. So it is absolutely in our genetics, and then we're teaching it to the next generation how to survive.
How to survive, how to overcome, how to just heal that wound, embrace that wound, integrate those wounds, right? This became part of who we are today too. It's like I can't think of all the decades I've been on this planet and not be grateful for all those lessons that I learned through all of the pain that brought me to this day. So, yeah.
And it's a really interesting thing when you talk about the decades, right? And it's fun when you can step back away and you're like, oh my God, I'm seeing history repeat itself. Even within your own family unit, you're like, oh, now I see it. I
Yes.
see this repeating again. And it
Yes.
takes a really strong person to say, no more, I'm breaking this.
Exactly. And I gave my mother permission because I realized too that the things that she passed to us and how she raised us in the household that I grew up in, when I was able to be like really honest with her and share with her the growth and the healing that I've been going through, I gave her permission to walk that same path. And so seeing that too, and my mother is a character, so she she was definitely one, and she's from the previous generation, so it was really difficult to kind of get through to her. But once she saw the kind of the light starting to shine brighter in myself, it gave her permission, and that also let me know that, oh my gosh, all generations of women need to hear this message, need to be feel safe in doing the work and outgrowing that trust wound.
Yeah, and the growth that we can teach a younger generation of women so that we don't have to go through the same things over and over again. It's like, look, these generations before you, before us, and the things that they've been doing to create a better world for us. So, yes, carving that pathway. So, a question I have for you, Kimberly, is bringing your story into the room. Who do you think? I mean, this is going to resound with a lot of people, but who do you think you would really love to see in that room with you to go, here's the story and here's why you need to know it?
Oh, that is really good. I will tell you, as somebody who, well, all of us basically, we enter this world, we go to school, we're trained to be a certain way in society. We're trained to like go to college, be prepared to go to this job, to go to this corporate thing. And it's almost just like the breadcrumbs, the path was already laid before us, and we never really had a choice in that because it was programmed into us since the day we opened our eyes. That was the path we were all given. And so I think it like really dimmed the courage to step outside of that laid out path. And I think the woman that I would be speaking to is the woman that started realizing maybe early on and when they were told to follow a certain path that it didn't feel right, or something just didn't resonate with them, or they were sitting in certain corporate jobs or certain roles in relationships and things like that, and something inside them wasn't sitting right. But because of just feeling silenced and not having a voice or the courage to speak up, because it was the path that was laid ahead of us. You grow up, you get married, you go to work, you go to college, all the things that we're supposed to do as women. When it doesn't sit right intuitively, we kind of just push that down. So, and I feel like that's a lot of women, but the woman that is looking to take that next step forward, I think is the woman that I want to see in this room, because just seeing all of the things that I was able to step through and step out of, all of the paths that were laid before me, and just take this unconventional route of being in an RV and rebuilding myself from the inside out. But that woman that feels like she needs permission when she really doesn't, but recognizing inside of herself that she's been pushing down her truth for so long. And I just do believe that woman is across all of us and within all of us in some way.
I love that you recognize the woman that I I feel like the people that talk to me, they're like, I don't know what I want, right? Because they haven't had the time or the opportunity to really evaluate what has been scripted for them versus what do they want.
Yes.
And I love that. I feel like you could speak to that woman and go, let's explore that. Let's
Yes.
find that person inside you.
Yes. Yes. Oh, oh
Yeah.
man, it just like gives me goosebumps and warms me up to just to think, even if it's one woman I touch, there's one woman that can resonate with my journey and with the work that I'm going to bring into this conference. I can sleep better, even if it's one.
Well, what I think you're talking about is the power of the ripple. The idea too is as we change and evolve, we inspire people we don't even realize. So just our
Hmm.
own personal journey, but also that one person could help thousands. So
Yes.
when we start these journeys of who we are and being visible, stop thinking about, talking to lots here, like stop thinking about that, how we have to, get a million people in the room. It's like that one person can become a
Yes.
million. We just
Yes.
don't know that effect because it's like the idea is it keeps going beyond us.
Yes.
So
And
I
you just
love that you are doing this work, Kimberly, with us.
thank you. Thank you. And you just made me recognize and connect to, part of my journey being on the road. My persona of Ravenheart was born on the road. And Raven is the messenger from spirit, and heart, of course, coming from my heart. And I was always in my head, and I was always cerebral. So I was always thinking that I couldn't do this and I can't do that. And this isn't nobody's gonna like this. And thinking about what other people thinking at the end of the day. And there's no wisdom in the thinking mind. So when I started to drop into my heart, like it just became more obvious what I am meant to do. So just kind of reconnecting with my heart and being able to inspire other women and creating sacred spaces. So even that one woman, I opened the door just yesterday. I had like my listening lounge, and it's people, women that come together and just sit with each other. And there's something in that power and in that energy. So I know this is going to be a powerful event to have. I had 6 people with us yesterday up there, even 5 people, 3 people, however many people in that room that can really connect to this, the power is going to be felt.
Yeah, it's funny, and I don't know why this is coming to me. It's just like the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the one step. And it's the same thing with our storytelling. We have to start with that one person that it lands with, and then they begin to share and tell our stories. So suddenly that's the echo of our voice. And, in high touch rooms, just those 5, 7, 10, 15 people, we can make such an incredible impact, and then those people go on to tell our stories. And I love that because, you know especially in the visibility journey, as Amy mentioned, it's really, that's where it starts with. We're not chasing the visibility, but we're going for our truth and our lived experiences, so that somebody else doesn't have to go through them, and they can learn from us and they can adapt into their own life of going, okay, you want to find joy in your life? You want to find your courage, clarity, and confidence? Well, hello, come and meet Kimberly in the room.
And I get this feedback a lot especially when I meet women on the road, and they're like, the first thing they say is, "You're driving that thing by yourself?" you know? So I'm like, yes, I am. And then I don't realize, because I just did it, that it did take a lot of courage to do that. And I didn't realize how many women, even outside of the circles and the worlds that I was in before, would not be able to take that step, would not be able to do something so brave. And then I think about all of the things I've done. I've raised a son on my own. I've taken myself through college. I've taken myself through a successful career. And to just think how many women don't do that. And I'm single. I've been single the whole way through. So I've been by myself doing it. And I think it was being prepared by myself in order to come out for others. I think that has really been part of my journey, and yeah, I'm really getting more and more excited about just bringing that forward and stepping into that with this room.
Well,
Yeah.
and I love the idea of bringing the traveling of the RV. I mean, you could have chose so many different other ways to do independent traveling. So many easier ways than taking an RV and driving wherever it goes. You could have gone on a nice fancy trip by yourself. You could have so many things. And the idea is like you're not an electrician, you're not a plumber, you're not like when you have an RV, you become all these extra hats. And you just did it. I think that's such an brave thing to do. And I'm like, could I do that? I don't know.
Yes, and I wrote a book. I've launched 2 businesses. I've launched a coaching practice. And now I'm emerging as this. I can't even recognize the woman I was 3 years ago. I don't. She was depleted from corporate life, and yeah, oh wow, what a difference. And it's interesting, 3 is a very magical number, as we all know. So it's interesting that it takes almost exactly 3 years for me to finally get up and step on the stage and really bring myself forward to other women. I'm so ready for this.
You brought up a really good point, Kimberly. This visibility isn't a like overnight thing. You're like, oh, I'm going to just do this. It's
Hmm.
tiny little steps. It's us developing who we are. I love that you brought up 3 years. It took me 3 years to discover my clarity, courage, and confidence and to
Yes.
really grow inside that concept. So
Yes.
this is a pathway that takes time, but there's many little wins along the way.
Oh,
But you
yes.
gotta start.
And you gotta stay. That is the key right there too, is being consistently showing up even when it feels like it's not going to work. I always think of the parable of that diamond miner who gave up 3 feet away before he hit the gold. I mean, the gold miner, right? He gave up,
Yep.
sold the land, and the next owner found it 3 feet ahead where he stopped. So never giving up, not quitting, and just moving forward, even if it is a tiny step, even if it's getting out of bed and saying, I got this. That's how I get through anyways.
And Kimberly, so now is the time for the magic question.
Uh-oh.
Why does visibility matter?
Why does visibility matter? Hmm. Well, it matters because being unseen, I just feel like there's so much of all of us that was intended to be seen. And as I alluded to earlier about a path or a scripted life that was laid before us, and having the courage to step up and say that was not necessarily the path that I was set here to do, and sharing my story and being visible about it, I feel like finally gives people permission. And then people that actually know me too, or have known me over the years and have crossed my path, will understand where I went, who I am really, because I feel like I was always a misunderstood person, which also made me question who I was. So stepping forward also gives myself permission, while also giving others permission to also just step forward and be who they truly are, and and what aligns with their purpose and their soul, if you will. And not only that, but me being visible, or us being visible singularly, also creates the collective visibility, which is something we need in this world more than anything, with all the systems that have been in place for so long that just require this feminine balance to come into the picture. So we got to step out of the shadows. We've got to come forth, and we've got to speak our truth.
Ooh.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, you've actually taken the words out of like I don't know what to say.
Oh,
Oh, I just want to sit with that for a little bit. Oh, what do you got, Christina?
oh,
Wow. Yeah, Kimberly, that was just amazing. I mean, the summation, there is no other words that can follow up what you just said. You encompassed so much of what we're standing for, what we're working with, what we're working towards, and just, being able to unite us together as women in the power that we have, and understanding that when we stand together hand in hand, we can move mountains.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to hear more from Kimberly, this is the room you want to do, because she's going to bring the heart and soul of who you are, like you just in a very safe, warm, fun way. Like it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be scary. This is a way for you to just maybe have a new way of perspective, or, be able to have a different conversation. That's what Kimberly's bringing to the table here. So if you want to hear more of Kimberly's wisdom and heart and mission, and just her knowledge that she brings from decades and decades of just experience, come to the conference, join us, get to know her. And I'll guarantee you, I cannot wait to give Kimberly a hug. And I invite you all to do the same, because she is a person you want to know.
Thank you.
Amazing. And I can't wait to be in the room with you, Kimberly. This is going to be an amazing conference with amazing speakers. And I want to thank you for joining us today on this special speakers edition of Women Getting Visible. I'm Christina, this is Amy, and our special guest, Kimberly. Thank you, and thank you everyone for watching and listening today. We'll see you in the room.
Beautiful.
Share your story.